Hello, 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 my beautiful ones, my wise ones, my melanated ones. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2025. I'm Wisdom Reborn and happy Hearts Day. Now, I wanted to hop on here and just, since today is the day of love, symbolically, I wanted to hop on here and I wanted to talk to y'all very briefly about a very powerful universal law that is also a spiritual law. But if the truth be told, universal laws are all spiritual laws, and I think all spiritual laws are universal laws. I haven't really looked into that, but I do know that all universal laws are spiritual laws. Now, today being the day of love, I wanted to talk to y'all about the law of oneness. Yes, there is a law called the law of oneness, and the law of oneness is not that you are one, it is that we, everybody together, every organism, every cell, every atom, every plant, every animal, everything is one within everywhere. It's one. So I wanted to talk to y'all about that because excuse me, in this day and society that we live in, we have been given a vision of separatism. And the separatism is getting worse. In the midst of it getting worse, I wanted to just discuss the fact that we are all a part of a bigger plan. And that bigger plan requires us to move more as one. So I broke it down into 5 different concepts that will help you understand the law of oneness a little bit better, hopefully. So the first part of the law of one would be to recognize, and that is to recognize how entangled each one of us is with everyone else. Now, that sounds far-fetched. But you as one person, as a mother, a father, a child, a parent, or a sibling, a cousin, think about how you as one person are connected with your family. And I come from several very large families, so that can be huge. You are connected to your family members. Now, because you're connected to your family members, you're connected to everyone else that your family members are connected to, whether you admit it or not. Think about how you are on your job and how you're connected to all the people and the processes that make the job work. When I was studying and thinking about what I was going to talk about, I thought about supply chain. A lot of people that understand what supply chain is. So someone has to gather the resources. Someone has to produce the product. Someone has to advertise the product. Someone has to purchase the product. Someone has to ship the product. Then at that point, someone else has to sell the product. Someone has to use the product. And then someone has to dispose of the product. It's all connected from beginning to end. And with that being said, we are an integral part of that supply process. No matter where you, supply chain, no matter where you fit in the equation, you are in the equation. Now, I also thought about our friends. Now, friends aren't necessarily family, although some family can be friends. When you have friendships with people, it's the same thing. You're their friend, they have a friend. It is huge, and it all goes back to the law of one, but we have to recognize the part that we play in the law of one. The second one is it goes with that is self-recognizing. Ooh, no. I'm sorry. I have a feeling that whenever things like that happen, because I don't have a problem with enunciating words. When things like that happen, I have a strong belief that there is a force that doesn't want me to get the message out. And so I release and return that back to wherever it came from. So with self-recognition, thank you. Self-recognition, you recognize that how important you are in the midst of the oneness. How even though you may not directly interact with someone, your actions directly affect that person. Indirectly affect that person. And any effects of how one moves affects how we all move. I am gonna tell my age, and I'm gonna tell my love for Tupac real quick. Tupac came out with a song called Brenda's Got a Baby. Now, Brenda was a 12-year-old who grew up in the projects, who got had a baby by her cousin. Brenda's parents were had their own addictions. Her family members treated her a particular kind of way. But in that song, he broke down how it affected the entire community. So the actions, and those of you that are in my age that are that understand and remember that song, you understand our actions actually do affect those around us. And we don't live on an island, so we know that. The next thing I wanted to tap on to is gratitude. Once you realize how you are in the midst of your oneness, but in the midst of totality oneness, at that point, we should begin to have some gratitude, thankfulness that the moves that we make, the positive moves that we make, affect those around us in a positive way, because that's what it's all about. It's about uplifting, encouraging, moving forward in a positive manner. And once you understand how you as an individual are such an important part to the big picture, if you don't feel gratitude, you will feel gratitude. You will have to feel gratitude, because you will understand that you're valuable and that your movements are valuable. Yeah. Now, after we understand how we are affected and how the oneness is affected by our movements, and we begin to show gratitude, it should bring us to a place of not being judgmental. And the reason it should bring us to a place of not being judgmental is because when you realize that you are a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of a huge picture, you also realize that you are a big portion of the big picture. And in understanding that, we should be able to understand that different people move at different speeds. That because we understand how important we are, we begin to understand how important others are. We stop casting judgment on them, and we do things that would make those individuals around us react and act at a higher level, at a higher frequency. We let them know how important they are in the whole picture of everything, because we all are so very important. Once we release that level of judgment and we don't look down upon people, and we understand that we are all intricately connected, and we understand that as we move together, and as we move, our movements move the entire tribe forward. And as we are moving forward, we are making space for the generations that are yet to come to be able to move in a different manner. The stress, the aggravation, the frustration, the anger, the hate that's in the world today, our goal is to move that out of the way. As we move together with compassion, we move that out of the way. And we leave space for the next generations to be able to live a life that's not so hard, to be able to live a life that's not so harsh, to be able to live a life where they are not concerned with some of the things that we have had to be concerned with. It allows us to know that although we are one individual, we work together in unity under the law of one. I hope I was able to break that down and make that be digestible for everyone. We are each so important. We are each so valuable. You may think that you don't matter, but you matter. You may think that something can go on, the world can go on without you. It can, but why would it? You're such an important person. You're such a valuable person. You're such a gem, such a jewel. Yeah. We have got to get to the point to where we understand that each of us has a part to play in the bigger picture. And when we understand that it's just not about us, there's no such thing as being self-made. If you think you're self-made, I think that there is a such thing as being accomplished, but you can't be self-made, because everything that others do around you either directly or indirectly affect your moves and who you've become. And in knowing that other people affected who you become, it should make it even more important for us to understand how our moves affect what others become. All under the law of oneness, which is a phenomenal universal and spiritual law. Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, what does the Bible say about that? Well, the Bible says that the body has many parts. And all of those parts, when they move in unison, they move for the greater good. It's the law of oneness. It's the law of oneness in a remixed fashion. Because the law of oneness has been around for much longer than the Bible. Yep. So on today, February 14th, 2025, my beautiful ones, my wise ones, and my melanated ones, I hope that I could just give you a little bit of knowledge and wisdom. And I hope that you can interpret it into understanding that we are all very necessary in the movements of the entire universe. Not just the world, not just our neighborhood, not just our household, but the entire universe. It's Wisdom Reborn. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that this Friday, this Valentine's Day, has put a smile on your face, and that your heart is filled with love. Blessings, blessings, and more blessings.